So, I mean, how weird has this whole experience been? I mean, I'm sure you're happy to get another fight in, after what happened last time, but just having to run this whole thing back and talk about everything and post everything so close after what happened. What's this been like for you?
It's fucking great. Come here to a great American state here in Boston. It's a little bit more rowdy. We're on my soil, so everything's great. I get to come back straight to America, train with my coaches, drive my car. I felt like I was in jail, so it's like I got out. Like everything's brand new. So I feel great, man. We're here to run it back, bring a banger to Boston. Feel incredible.
I was going to ask you, I mean, if there's almost pauses, because not that the first fight wasn't hype, but now I feel like everybody's really paying attention and going, man, this fight is going to be insane. So I know you wouldn't have liked things to happen the way they did in Mexico, but is there some positives to take out of it that it seems like a bigger fight now?
Yeah, what if I would have knocked him out in Mexico? You see how they treated me there, probably killed me. It's all good though, it's a great thing, it's going to make it that much better when I put him on the canvas and he's staring up at the lights asking what happened, and I'm celebrating the win. It's just going to make it that much better. After all this shit that's gone down, when I put his lights out, it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a huge night for me.
I have to ask about the sunglasses. Is that just style today, or is there function behind those sunglasses as well?
Keep the fingers out of my eyes, my man.
Are they like a special type of glasses? It's kind of like an interesting design. It looks kind of neat.
It's like some Randy Savage shit, huh?
That's what I was going to say.
Nice.
Or like an 80s bad guy or something.
No, I like style, so I feel good, look good. I'm going to fight great.
Jeremy, one of the stories heading into Mexico City was that you went up there early to get used to the elevation. Is there any disappointment that you didn't get to show, the training you did to be ready for that elevation? Any disappointment in that?
No, not at all, because we're going to run it right back. So it was a great experience. With the shit that went down, it doesn't take away from my experience in Zacatecas and the people that I met and the humble people in Mexico. I love it there. I'll definitely go back. I love that country. It's a beautiful country. I get it. You didn't get to see a fight. If I would have been on the audience and that shit would have happened, I would have been throwing beer too. So this time instead of that, I'm going to knock them out and then go drink a beer.
So obviously, you're a professional. You have a set schedule where you want to peak and this and that. How have you had to change that, being that it's such a quick turnaround since your last fight?
It ain't shit, man. I knocked out Doo Ho Choi. 2 days later they call me and I go knock out Emmett. So this is going to be a little bit more vicious. So I'm lighter. I'm healthy. I'm in shape. I love staying active. I think people forget about that. A lot of people duck and dodge me along the way, so it's hard for me to get fights. Fighting twice a year fucking sucks. I make enough money to provide for myself, but I'd love to fight 3-4 times a year. Personal goal of mine is knock out Yair. All come out great health. I'll look to be in that next in line for if Zombie or Ortega drops off. So you bet your ass I'll fight 1 or 2 more times by the end of the year if it's possible.
You made your UFC debut in 2007. We've seen champions come and go, contenders come and go, and you're still here. What have you done differently from these other guys that's allowed you to fight at this level for so long?
Allowed myself to just be humble and grow, realize that I'm not the best yet. When I first came in here, I was like a white belt. A lot of guys should have beat me, and I was knocking out black belts. That's just my heart, my grit, my mindset, my will to win. But what you don't see is my mind. I'm constantly looking for growth. I'm constantly trying to change, evolve. Look at my career. It was just hands, Then all of a sudden, I started throwing kicks. I got head kick knockouts, flying knee knockouts, left hook knockouts, elbow, ground and pound. Been in one of the bloodiest fights in UFC history. That's just a constant revolution of just constantly getting better, constantly grow and evolve. Charles Darwin said it best: it's not the strongest or the smartest person, it's the person willing to adapt to change. And I've been willing to adapt in this game, because if not, you see him drop off quick. If you're not trying to get better, you're not trying to grow. Even as a journalist, if you're not trying to do your job or grow, be first, be the fucking baddest motherfucker out there, then you'll fall off quick.
How much did you train with Tony Ferguson for this camp?
I got a couple days in with him just recently, so yeah.
How's that been? Because you trained with him the camp before for the first Yair fight. It's added. How has it sort of benefited your game training with him?
It's great. He's got a lot of knowledge. He's king of footwork, king of elbow, spinning crazy shit. He's fast too, man. Tony's a great guy to train with. It's been a pleasure.
And what's one thing about Tony that maybe we don't get about him that you get to see? Some behind the scenes stuff like obviously very cerebral. What is there anything that comes to mind?
He's a nice guy.
Okay.
You talk about evolution and growth, and obviously you've been doing this for a long time. What do you think is like the biggest change from the Jeremy Stephens from 2007 to Jeremy Stephens that's going to be fighting on Friday night?
That was a long time ago, man. The biggest change is I've gotten a lot smarter. Gotten a lot smarter. I work harder, but I also work smarter. I put them both together, and that separates me from the pack.
Are you just blown away at how much this game evolves over the years? I mean, you've been here for over a decade now, and it just continues to grow and grow, and fighters continue to come up and up. Are you surprised by that, or is this what you expected?
No, this sport's going to surpass me. When I'm long dead and gone, my grandkids, whatever, it's going to be a whole different sport. You look at guys like the Style Bender, who's just come in with dance moves and he can actually scrap. You're going to see a lot more of that. There's a lot more people around the world that we haven't really discovered yet. That's one of the greatest things about fighting for the UFC is it brings in the best talented. You get to come here and do some stuff like this to get people's personalities. So this is going to long surpass me, and that's why I joined the sport. I love it. I love the growth because this isn't a dead sport where it's this. And it's a clean sport now. It's not like all steroided out motherfuckers just stomping each other's heads in. You're really seeing some beautiful artwork here. We're artists.
You talk about how you have to evolve or you kind of perish at this point. So with you, do you get motivation from other fighters? Like, are there fighters that fight on cards and you have to watch them fight because it rejuvenates you and motivates you even more?
Yeah, it doesn't really give me motivation, but it's damn, say Stylebender. You're like, damn, that motherfucker can dance. He's got the flash. He's got it all. He's like the must-see TV. I'm a fan of the sport before I was ever even a fighter in the UFC. So I definitely watch the fights. I mean, shit, if there's a street fight out there right now, I'd probably sit back and sip a tea and watch it. I love fighting.
What do you make of this BMF title coming up and the two fighters that fought in your old weight class?
You got to get me in that motherfucker. That's for sure. Seriously, I'd go back up 55, 70, I trained with Masvidal, great guy. One of my good mentors, Josh Neary, trains with Diaz. Seeing him come up, I thought we were going to fight at 55. But I love seeing that. Them guys get their money. They've been putting in 17 years. I've been a professional fighter since I was 16. We're not professional, but I've been fighting since I was 16, professional at 18. That's 17 years in the game. I'm up there with the best. I fought the best, fought nothing but killers, So, no one's ever taken the dog out of me. If you're gonna beat me, you're gonna be weaseling away, running for your fucking life and squeaking out decisions. Trying for a little bullshit takedown just to hold me down. No one's ever taken the dog out of me. So you can put me in that BMF title runner coming up. So I'm down.
Talk about being a fan of the sport. Obviously, you have a big title fight coming up here in December in your division between Max Holloway, Alex Volkanovski. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that one? Who do you think takes it?
I think after seeing Max treat Frankie the way he did, I'm thinking Max. I think Max has the experience, the range, the takedown defense. And Volkanovski, he's a midget.
You spoke about your grandchildren. When the historians write, the MMA historians write about you, what is your grandchildren going to read about you?
Savage. There's going to be a picture of me.
Did you catch the CSAC weight cutting regulations that they put in yesterday? Did you see that about the? Oh, I guess you didn't.
No, bro. I'm not a big into the news. Yeah.
Okay.
Fake news. No.
When you had your first fight when you were 16, if someone told you that all these years later you'd be a main event, then a co-main event, you'd be here in Boston getting ready to fight on this huge card, what would you have thought if someone said that to you?
Stop fucking lying. No, that was long before I was in my first fight, probably second, third grade, bro. I moved around a lot of schools. Coming from where I come from to be here in Boston, to be co-maining, have main event fights, making money like I am, bro, I would have never dreamed of this. It wasn't until people really kind of instilled that belief, like my grandfather, who I grew up watching UFC with, and my uncle who put me into wrestling and baseball, like the coaches that I had that kind of instilled in beliefs. I didn't really have that at home. So to come here, be here in front of you guys and be talking about this is the only way I can kind of relate to people out there that are really trying to chase their dreams. Never give up. I say it all the time, never give up. Believe in yourself, and if not, find someone who does believe in you.
How much does that make you appreciate this journey?
Shit, about made me cry right there, bro. You're taking me back. It's incredible, man. I love this. I love fighting. It's not a sport. It's true fighting, but I love it. I love being in the gym every day. I love being able to take this, like my growth, and teaching it on to my kids. Martial arts is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. But my job doesn't end when I knock out Yair. You know, it keeps going. I got to go home to my kids. You know, they got softball. You know, they got gymnastics. They got other stuff they're doing. So I got to go and instill my greatness and what I know about life and put it into a 10 and 8-year-old, so that by the time they're 16, 18 years old, they're not relying on no man to take care of them. They're taking care of themselves. They're growing. They're evolving. They're chasing their dreams because they're like, hey, if my dad can do it, I can do it. You know, that's the shit I love doing.
Jeremy, in recent interviews, you called yourself a real fighter. You just said you were a savage. You said you're a bad motherfucker. Do you think Yair fits that description too, or no?
No, he's a karate kid, man. He's a karate kid. I don't think he is, bro. I think he's trying to be something that he's not, and he's going to find out the hard way come Friday night when his lights are out.